Communicating efficiently in an organization implies surpassing communication barriers such as inflexible hierarchical structures, cultural and social differences, technological changes, and improvement of work interactions. In the modern professional communication environment, emotions are more difficult to grasp, particularly because of the way technology is shaping work interactions and influencing people. Understanding how emotions affect communication is essential for work collaboration and to prevent misunderstanding and conflicts. Emotional dynamics are also important for developing leadership competencies and navigating career paths. As modern workplaces continue to change, understanding emotional dynamics in workplaces will be essential for professional success and developing career paths. In this learning session, we'll explore concepts such as communication styles and models, emotions, and techniques to recognize emotional states and to practice an assertive communication style in professional interactions. The communication process and emotions. The influence of emotions in a professional environment is complex. Emotions recognition and assertive communication can greatly contribute to a welcoming workplace and healthy work relationships. These abilities improve individual performance and create collaborative and synergetic workplaces. Emotions and communication at work. Most of us confront on a daily basis with work situations that need immediate attention. Job-related stress is omnipresent and can get us into an emotional roller coaster. Fortunately, we can improve communication skills and gain insights into the emotional triggers that generate negativity and stress around sensitive subjects. Understanding emotional triggers contributes to emotional awareness and encourages harmonious and healthier interactions. Emotional self-awareness is improved by identifying the emotions as they arise in specific situations. Here are 4 ways to improve emotional self-awareness. Set boundaries between personal and professional space to maintain a balance in communicating at work. A good practice is to set boundaries between personal and professional space. Separating personal problems and work tasks is a good practice and can help to focus during working hours. However, this is not always possible because personal agendas can interfere with daily work tasks. Still, being aware of the emotional need to separate personal and professional plans and spaces can help achieve a balance. Identify and keep track of emotional triggers. Periodically identifying and keeping track of the specific situations that trigger emotional responses can enhance the ability to address these feelings. Reviewing and considering other possible reactions is a wiser way to respond that will balance and calm down emotions. Take periodic breaks. Taking breaks when you feel overwhelmed and moving away from the stressful situation provides the necessary time and space to reflect on emotions. If possible, stepping away from the triggering situation will help regain control over your reactions and behaviors. Respond with empathy. Empathic responses will help you gain a different perspective. Openly discuss the problems and actively listen to understand people's perspectives. Take a moment and see the problem from a different point of view by stepping in the other coworker's shoes. This will help in understanding what your interlocutor feels and needs. Communication models and styles. Most of the organizational communication flows can facilitate collaboration among all interconnected managerial functions. There are various communication models and frameworks created by scientists and psychologists to help us communicate better. Understanding how we communicate. By understanding the mental patterns we use during speech, we can diminish misunderstandings and work conflicts. If we identify communication patterns, we will be able to reframe responses and communicate efficiently. An organizational communication strategy can enhance overall efficiency and performance. However, most of the time, people's emotions influence messages, even if they make real efforts to convey thoughts objectively, without ambiguity or emotional distortions. Therefore, achieving a balance between emotions and reason isn't an easy task. There are a lot of communication models we can explore. In the following, we'll examine 2 communication models and a communication style framework in order to understand the role of emotions in the communication process. Shannon and Weaver's communication model. One of the most known and accepted communication models is the Shannon and Weaver model. In this model, communication is defined as the process of exchanging information through 5 elements: the sender, coder, the receiver, decoder, and the response, feedback, through a communication channel. The feedback element was added later to check the accuracy and understanding of the received messages. Whether through nonverbal cues, body language, and tone of voice, we are constantly conveying our states of mind and emotions while speaking or not speaking. The feedback can be changed meaning because of people's emotional states and perceptions. Let's look at another communication model that can explain why we often deal with miscommunication and manipulation. Aristotle's persuasive communication model, one of the oldest models of public communication created by Aristotle with the purpose of persuading people, is more actual than ever. This model, designed to examine how to become a more persuasive communicator, acknowledges the role of the emotions while communicating. Both in personal life and at work, we try to persuade and influence people. According to this ancient model of communication, emotions should be balanced with logical reasoning, logos, and speaker credibility, ethos, and aligned with principles like truth and justice. Appealing to emotions during a presentation or public discourse is a powerful persuasion technique. The model is focused on public speaking and persuasion and has 5 primary elements: speaker, speech, occasion, audience, and effect, and defines 3 elements of a good communicator: ethos, pathos, and logos correspond to credibility, emotional connection, and sense of reason. According to Aristotle's model, pathos emotions connect the speaker with the audience through different emotions like anger, sadness, happiness, etc. The term pathos originates from the ancient Greek pathos, which means suffering, experience, or emotion. The objective of persuasive communication is to convince an audience so that they will believe the speaker. However, on a daily basis, while communicating, we decide how the pathos can influence communication, both in a negative and positive way. Improving communication skills implies to better understanding of our individual pathos. So, by better understanding emotional triggers, we'll be able to communicate effectively. It's the pathos element, our emotions, experiences, and suffering, that can distort communication unintentionally or intentionally. Communication styles and their role. Recognizing patterns of communication is one way that can help understand how to react most effectively. Knowing the difference between different communication styles facilitates setting healthy boundaries and engaging in meaningful and balanced conversations. Edmund J. Bourne recognizes the following styles of communication: submissive, aggressive, passive-aggressive, manipulative, and assertive style. This is what the author thinks about getting angry. Believe it or not, other people don't make you angry. You react angrily to your own interpretation of the significance of another person's behavior. Something they say or do goes against your standards of what is acceptable or just, and so you feel angry. Each of these 5 communication styles describes how people can express their thoughts, emotions, and needs. A submissive communication style is focused on pleasing other people and avoiding conflicts. The needs of others are always more important, and other people have more rights. An aggressive communication style is about winning at the expense of others and is the opposite of a submissive style. Aggressive communicators express their opinions as being the most important in a discussion, and the way they communicate is demanding, even intimidating. A passive-aggressive communication style is having a passive attitude on the surface while actually expressing anger indirectly. Passive-aggressive communicators act indirectly, but they subtly express resistance. The manipulative communication style involves shrewd behavior to achieve the wanted outcomes. The opinions and ideas conveyed have ulterior motives to influence and control. Thus, others may not be aware of the ulterior motives. The assertive communication style emerges from self-esteem and is a healthy and effective style of communication. Assertive communicators have equal regard for their own and other people's emotional needs and individual rights. To better illustrate this communication style, let's take a look at one example. A project manager gives a subordinate colleague 3 extra tasks. Let's see what responses this manager might receive from his colleagues according to the 5 communication styles. Possible responses: 1. Submissive: okay. I'll do my best to get everything done as soon as possible. I already have a lot of tasks, but if you need me to do this, I'll find a way to make it work, and I'll take care of it. 2. Aggressive, I already have way too much work to do, and now you're adding 3 more tasks? I've been taking on more than my share of work lately. If you want these done, you should find someone else, because I can't do everything. 3. Passive-aggressive, I was hoping to catch up on the tasks I already have, but I guess that's not happening now. I'll just work during lunch, or maybe I'll stay late this week, again. Don't worry, I'll get it all done somehow. Who needs breaks, right? 4. Manipulative, 3 more tasks? I'll do them, but it's getting really difficult to meet the deadlines. I was thinking about taking some free time, because I'm exhausted. Anyway, I wouldn't want to let you down. Since you assigned the tasks to me on such short notice, I hope this will count on my annual performance review. 5. Assertive, I really appreciate your confidence in my abilities to solve these additional tasks. I want to make sure I can complete them correctly and in due time. My concern is that this might impact the quality of my work and meeting the deadline of my responsibilities. Let's decide together how to prioritize these 3 tasks to meet all the deadlines. Influence of emotions in modern professional communication. The influence of emotions in modern professional communication is a complex issue. By recognizing and understanding emotions, people can significantly enhance communication skills and improve work relationships and even long-term job performance. One of the most important factors during the communication process is the ability to recognize our emotions as well as the emotions of others. This behavior allows us to be empathetic. Basic emotions, people have constantly tried to explain their emotions and feelings. Our emotional states can significantly impact the decision-making process and interpersonal interactions. Emotions are complex psychological states involving subjective experience and behavioral responses. According to the APA dictionary, there are the following primary or basic emotions recognized universally across cultures, though the list varies: fear, anger, joy, sadness, disgust, contempt, and surprise. Some theorists also include shame, shyness, and guilt. Paul Ekman's research identified 6 basic emotions, universally recognized across cultures: happiness, sadness, anger, fear, surprise, and disgust. Techniques to recognize emotions. The combination of emotions and digital tools has transformed workplace interactions and communication. Instant messaging, video conferencing, and collaborative platforms have made it easier for teams to communicate. However, it is important to balance tech tools with face-to-face interactions to maintain real interpersonal relationships and genuine interactions to drive creative solutions and innovation. 1. Understanding how emotions manifest and their facial cues. Developing a rich emotional vocabulary enables us to identify our emotions more accurately. Assigning specific names to emotions allows clearer communication of emotional states. There are various ways to use this vocabulary, including self-assessment tools and questionnaires. Self-assessment involves regularly assessing your emotional responses in various situations. By taking time to think about your feelings during interactions, you can better understand your emotional triggers and patterns. You can explore the way you recognize emotions and even obtain scores of emotional reactions with the help of psychometric tests. This practice helps recognize emotions as they arise. Learning about emotional cues and triggers might raise our awareness about people's reactions and communication styles. A useful and free tool to learn more about emotions and emotional triggers is the Atlas of Emotions, developed by Paul Ekman and supported by the Dalai Lama. 2. Use active listening. Active listening is a critical skill for recognizing emotions and involves paying attention to the words, tone of voice, and body language. Actively listening is the foundation of efficient communication and helps us understand, recognize, and influence people's feelings. By actively listening, we can gain a deeper and more meaningful understanding of people's needs, emotions, and feelings. 3. Practice an assertive communication mindset. Positive emotions such as joy or gratitude improve communication in an organizational environment, encouraging openness and collaboration. On the contrary, negative emotions like anger or fear influence dialogues and interactions between colleagues. Assertive communication is the most recommended communication style beneficial for collaboration and continuous growth. To become an assertive communicator, questions and answers should always be framed and transmitted with a positive outcome in mind. Having an assertive communication mindset generates harmonious work collaboration and productivity. This kind of mindset aims to actively solve problems and respond to real needs. This is an example of an affirmations facilitating an assertive communication. I want to collaborate with my colleagues and find solutions together. I'm receptive to people's needs and problems, and want to help. I'm willing to learn new things and readjust my views. I'm paying attention to my workload and deadlines and setting priorities in order not to damage my performance and health. The description below includes links to free resources for learning more about emotions, active listening, and empathy.